Winter is a cruel thing sometimes. It can make you super ambitious, at the same time very unmotivated about a project's list of to-dos you keep telling yourself you're going to get done in the next few days. The next day it's too cold, the day after that it snows and stays around for an eternity. Winter holidays come next, and then even more winter advisories. Then, finally, a little bit of sun to give you the illusion it's springtime and time to reinvigorate your project. Then you get the doctor's overview and find out your truck just got even further away from its scheduled finish date. Ready to find out why? So these rims are a little dingy. They're not going to check out the spec for bringing one of these old girls back. I've heard of a trick that you can do to make them shine again. It's something that involves some steel wool, which is this stuff right here. So it's pretty simple. You get it on there and it actually starts to take all the surface rust and everything else off the rim, which is unreal because I did scrub these rims to begin with soap and water and pressure wash them, and they were not coming clean. So let's take a closer look to exactly what kind of shine this steel wool brings out in these rims. So as you can see, these are terrible, but we're gonna take the steel wool and we're gonna rub it right on there, and you can see the shine is starting to come back. The old chrome is showing through. It's just gonna take a while to get all that stuff back to perfection, but that's pretty amazing for a truck that's been sitting for so long. So the wheels went from looking a little browny and almost copperish color, and for 15 minutes or so I got this one polished all nice and up. I mean, for 15 minutes of work, it still's got a little bit of rust marks here and to be polished out, but that's pretty incredible that a little bit of steel wool can do that. So the decision has been made. I wanted to keep this super original, but this smog stuff is just such a pain. So we're gonna be pulling it all out of the gold truck. So we better get started because we need to have a spaghetti dinner by the end of this evening. You guys got the pasta sauce? Got everything all pulled off here. Got the carburetor even pulled off. We are going to be rebuilding that one as it was not running as it should. So hopefully we can get that kit in the next couple days and we'll go through that. But right now it looks like there's so much more room for activities. All right, we got a freshly built Mize carburetor for the Gold 60. I have to admit, this was my first Mize carburetor that I've ever rebuilt, and it actually was not as daunting as I thought it would. So really excited to throw it back on here and get this truck to run a lot better. That's the goal here before we really start digging into cleaning her up. All right, so the carburetor's all installed. We got our little gas tank here and we're gonna fire this thing up. I'm not running it off the tank in the back just yet. As I've said in previous videos, I still need to get this on a lift and empty all that bad gas out because I'm pretty sure it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and crank this thing over and see if my carburetor rebuilt can make this thing run a little better. She's pulled out of her slumber once more. Today I'm going to clean this old girl out. She's got every type of dirt imaginable in her. Mouse poop. Started, as you can see a little bit here, with little knickknacks that came with the truck. But got to pull all this stuff back out and start the vacuuming process and cleaning. So I spent the last maybe 2 hours scrubbing the heck out of this truck. It's definitely apparent it lived its life on a farm, like I keep saying. And she's starting to come around. She's still got a little bit more deep cleaning and some more things that need to be pulled off. And as you start cleaning, you start to notice things that are broken or that aren't correct. So we're gonna start diving into that stuff tomorrow. We're gonna pack all the lovely bits and pieces back into the trunk of this old girl and park her for the evening. So we'll see you tomorrow. We're diving back in.
Strap yourselves in. I'm going to make a jump to light speed.
It's a super bummer. The Gold 60 has an excellent bumper on it, but at some time in its life it was connected with something that made it bend here. So the best way to get a bumper that's kind of messed up like this is to sawzall it off, or go ahead and use a grinder to get the carriage bolts out. I'm not going to be using this bumper for anything, so I don't feel like it's bad that we're scarring it. I've done this in the past in other videos, so almost got her off. Nothing like a fresh pump. We're gonna pull the gasoline out of this old truck. I'm sure it's gonna look like varnish. Getting ready to pour it out.
Yeah. Look at that old gasoline. That's gross.
This old fuel looks like iced tea. There wasn't a whole lot left in the truck, which is probably pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead and put some new fuel in it, let it sit. Actually got the interior all back in the 60. She's starting to really clean up. Was able to get the carpet pretty clean. The seats and dash and everything is really tight and clean in here. Was able to find a shift knob that was much needed, as well as back in the rear here, which didn't originally have a carpet. I was able to put a brown carpet together, and then I used some stall matting, which I have in my personal truck. It's really great and hardy for when you're putting stuff back here. Would have taken everybody through that process, but I've done it about 3 or 4 times on other trucks. So check out those videos if you're interested when the entire inside is gutted out and how I go ahead and put it back together. So we finally got this truck to idle as it should. And as soon as we started to get it to idle, I heard that it was missing. We did a compression test and immediately on 1 and 2, nothing. Let me show you another thing. This truck's got 265,000 miles on it, as well as look at the oil pressure on this thing. It's just so tired, this motor. So, you know what that means? Yup. We gotta pull out this motor and put another one in. Great. Practice makes perfect, right? I also forgot to mention the transmission's grinding whenever you drive anywhere. So we're probably going to be doing a transmission in a transfer case. Just another Monday. There's a sight for some sore eyes. A healthy 2F. So as I mentioned, the gold truck unfortunately needs a motor. I feel like I always knew that. And unfortunately also, the motor that needs to go into that truck is sitting in the tan truck, which if you remember several episodes ago, I did go ahead and pull this truck out of the middle of nowhere, got it running and drove it to this spot. So in the upcoming weeks, what we're gonna be doing is pulling that motor out, pulling this one out. So what I ask you is if there's something that you want to see that goes into pulling out these motors, because I've done a couple of those on the channel, please comment below, as it will probably be the next episode after this one. So let me know what you want to see, or if there's any intricacies as I go to put it back in that you want to know for your own rig. So cheers. I hope you enjoy this episode, and we'll see you next time. Yes.